Would you please consider subscribing to my channel and giving my video a thumbs up? I'd really appreciate it.
Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled between rolling hills and thick forests, there was a problem. The river that flowed through the village had mysteriously disappeared. Without the river, the crops couldn't grow, the animals had no water to drink, and the people were worried. The villagers didn't know what to do, and soon, the village began to dry up under the hot sun. In this village lived a young boy named Oliver. Oliver was known for his curious mind and his love of solving puzzles. He often spent his days exploring the forest, figuring out how things worked, and helping his friends with any problems they faced. When he heard about the missing river, he knew he had to help. One morning, Oliver decided to visit the dry riverbed and see if he could find any clues. He packed a small bag with his favorite magnifying glass, a notebook, and some snacks. His best friend, Emma, joined him. Emma was quick and clever, and together, they made a great team. Where could a whole river go? Emma asked as they walked along the empty riverbed. I don't know, Oliver replied, scratching his head. But if we follow the riverbed, we might find where the water disappeared. They followed the winding path where the river used to flow, their feet kicking up dust. As they walked deeper into the forest, the trees became taller and the air cooler. Soon, they heard a strange sound, like the gurgling of water, but much fainter than a full river. They exchanged excited glances and rushed toward the sound. After a while, they reached a spot where the riverbed was blocked by large rocks and branches. Water was trickling through, but most of it seemed to be stuck behind the blockage. That's strange, Oliver said, crouching down to examine the pile of debris. It looks like something caused a landslide. Emma looked around. Could it have been a storm? Or maybe something knocked the rocks loose? Oliver nodded. Maybe. But if we want the river to flow again, we need to clear this blockage. It's too big for just the two of us, though. Just as Oliver was about to suggest returning to the village for help, they heard a rustling in the bushes. Out popped a small, fluffy animal with bright eyes and long ears. It was a beaver. Hello, the beaver said cheerfully. I see you found the problem with the river. Oliver and Emma were startled at first, but they quickly realized the beaver wasn't dangerous. Do you know what happened here? Oliver asked. The beaver nodded. Indeed. A few days ago, my family and I were building a new dam downstream, but something went wrong. A big storm hit, and we had to abandon our work. The rocks and branches got piled up here, blocking the river's flow. Oliver thought for a moment. Can you help us move the rocks and clear the riverbed? The beaver scratched his head. It's a big job, but with a little teamwork, I think we can do it. Let me go get my family. They're experts at moving things. With that, the beaver scurried off, and Oliver and Emma waited. Before long, the beaver returned with a whole team of beavers. They chattered excitedly and quickly got to work. The beavers used their strong teeth to gnaw through the branches, and their flat tails to push the rocks aside. Oliver and Emma helped too, pulling away smaller sticks and rolling the stones down the hill. It was hard work, but everyone worked together, laughing and encouraging one another. Finally, after what seemed like hours, the blockage was clear. The water rushed through the riverbed, sparkling in the sunlight as it flowed freely once again. Oliver, Emma, and the beavers stood by, watching the river return to its natural path. We did it, Emma cheered, jumping up and down. The river's back. Oliver smiled, feeling proud of their hard work. We couldn't have done it without the beavers, he said, giving them a grateful look. The beaver who had first appeared grinned. It was our pleasure. We love solving problems, just like you. With the river flowing again, Oliver and Emma thanked the beavers and headed back to the village to share the good news. When they arrived, the villagers were overjoyed. The crops would grow, the animals would have water, and the village could thrive once more. The village elder, a wise and kind man, called for a celebration that night in honor of Oliver, Emma, and the beavers. The villagers gathered in the town square, dancing, singing, and feasting under the stars. Oliver and Emma told the story of how they had followed the riverbed, found the blockage, and worked together with the beavers to fix the problem. Sometimes, the elder said during the celebration, we face problems that seem too big for us to solve alone. But when we come together and use our skills and creativity, there's no problem we can't solve. Oliver beamed with pride. He had always loved solving puzzles, but this was different. This time, he had solved a problem that helped everyone in the village. And he had learned that teamwork was just as important as figuring things out on his own. As the night went on, the villagers thanked Oliver and Emma again and again. But Oliver, ever humble, simply smiled and said, it was a team effort. The next morning, Oliver and Emma returned to the river. It was flowing beautifully, the water clear and cool. They sat by the riverbank, watching the water rush by, feeling a sense of accomplishment. Do you think we'll have to solve more problems like this in the future? Emma asked, skipping a stone across the water. Oliver grinned. I hope so. Solving problems is what I do best. And so, the river flowed on, and the village continued to thrive. Whenever a new problem arose, the villagers knew they could count on Oliver, Emma, and their willingness to solve it together. And from that day forward, the village was never without water, or without friends who knew the power of teamwork. The end.